If you are hearing this right now, stop for a moment. Don't scroll and don't skip this, because this message might be exactly what you needed today. And if something inside you is already feeling this, comment Amen right now. Maybe your day just started, or maybe you've already been awake for a while, trying to push through, trying to stay focused, trying to keep going like everything is normal. But deep inside, something feels off. Not outside, everything looks the same, but inside there's a weight you can't explain. It's a quiet heaviness, the kind that doesn't make noise but refuses to leave. You try to ignore it, distract yourself, stay strong, but it keeps coming back. And maybe you don't even know how to explain it, because nothing dramatic happened, nothing big went wrong, and yet you still feel tired. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally tired. Tired of carrying something you can't even fully describe. And sometimes that's the hardest kind of exhaustion, because when pain is visible, people understand. But when it's internal, you carry it alone. You smile, you respond, you follow your routine, but deep down, you're fighting something. Thoughts that don't stop, questions without answers, a pressure that slowly builds until it starts to wear you down. And over time, you begin to wonder, why does this feel so heavy? Why can't I feel normal again? Why does it feel like I'm stuck? Is anything actually changing? Because you've been trying, you've been holding on, believing, pushing yourself forward, and still it feels like you're in the same place. Same struggles, same thoughts, same weight. And little by little, hope doesn't disappear, but it gets quieter, weaker, like something inside you is slowly losing strength. And if you're not careful, that feeling can become dangerous, because it starts convincing you that nothing is moving, nothing is working, nothing will change. But that is not the truth. And right now, you need to hear the truth. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Let that sink in, not quickly and not just on the surface, but deeply, because this changes everything. His love never stops, not when you're tired, not when you're confused, not when you feel weak, and not when your faith feels small. It doesn't stop when you don't feel spiritual, when you don't have answers, or when your life feels stuck. His love keeps going, constant, steady, unshaken, even when you are not. And that matters more than you think, because a lot of people live as if God's love depends on their performance. As if they have to earn it, deserve it, or maintain it perfectly, as if one mistake could push them away. But that's not what this says. It says His mercy never comes to an end, never. That means you have not run out of chances. No matter what happened yesterday, no matter what you regret, no matter what you wish you could undo, you are still covered, still included, still seen, and still loved, even now. And then comes the part most people overlook. His mercies are new every morning, every single morning. Not sometimes, not only when everything is perfect, but every day. That means today is not just another repeat of yesterday. It's a reset, a real reset. Even if your situation hasn't changed, even if your problems are still there, even if your life looks exactly the same, something changed. You were given a new day. And with that new day came new mercy, new strength, new patience, new grace. Not for yesterday, but for today. And this is where most people miss it, because they wake up in a new day but carry old weight. Old regrets, old thoughts, old fear, and slowly they turn a new morning into a continuation of yesterday. But that's not how it was meant to be. You were not created to relive the same burden every day. You were created to be renewed, to receive what is new, to step into something different, even if it starts small. Because renewal doesn't always feel dramatic. Sometimes it feels quiet, like a small shift, a subtle strength, a little more clarity, something inside you beginning to stabilize. And that matters because real change often starts quietly. So today, instead of asking, why is nothing changing? Ask yourself, what is being renewed in me right now? Because something is. Even if you don't feel it yet, even if you can't see it yet, something is happening. God is working in ways you can't measure, inside your thoughts, inside your strength, inside your ability to keep going. And let's be honest, there were moments you didn't think you would make it. Moments where quitting felt easier, moments where everything inside you said stop. But you didn't stop. You're still here, and that is not random. That is mercy. Mercy carried you when your strength ran out. Mercy held you when everything felt unstable. Mercy kept you moving when you didn't even have motivation. And now you've been given another morning, another opportunity, not because you earned it, but because God is faithful. And that changes everything. Because when you understand that God's mercy is new every morning, you stop treating today like it's just a continuation of yesterday. You stop waking up already defeated, already expecting the same weight, the same thoughts, the same struggles to define your entire day. Instead, you begin to realize something powerful. Today carries something yesterday no longer has. A new measure of grace. A new strength you didn't have before. A new opportunity to move forward, even if it's just one step. And sometimes, that's all you need. Not a complete transformation overnight. Not a perfect plan. Not everything figured out. Just one step. Because progress doesn't come from doing everything at once. It comes from doing something, even if it's small, even if it's imperfect. And this is where most people get stuck. They think if they can't fix everything, then nothing is worth doing. If they can't feel completely strong, then they shouldn't even try. If they don't see immediate results, then it must not be working. But that's not how growth works. Growth is built in small decisions, small moments of trust, small choices to keep going when it would be easier to stop. And those small moments begin to add up. They create momentum, and momentum is what changes direction. You don't need a perfect day to move forward. You just need a willing heart, a decision to continue, even if your energy is low, even if your mind is tired, even if your emotions are not fully aligned. And if you're still here listening to this, that already says something about you. It means you haven't given up. It means something inside you is still searching, still believing, still hoping. So if you're still here, comment, "I'm still here." Because that matters more than you think. Being here means you're still in the process, still moving, still growing, even if it doesn't feel like it. And right now, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to have everything together. You don't need to feel completely ready. You just need to take the next step. And maybe that step is simple. Maybe it's choosing not to give up today. Maybe it's deciding to trust again. Maybe it's letting go of one thought that's been weighing you down. Whatever it is, it counts. Because movement, even small movement, breaks stagnation. And stagnation is what makes everything feel heavier than it really is. But the moment you move, even just a little, something shifts. Not always outside, but inside. And that internal shift is where everything begins. Because before your life changes externally, something inside you has to change first. Your mindset, your perspective, your response. And that is what God is working on right now. Even if you don't see it, even if you don't feel it, even if nothing around you looks different, something inside you is being strengthened, prepared, stabilized. And that matters. Because what comes next in your life will require that strength. It will require that stability. It will require a version of you that can handle more than before. So this season you're in right now, it's not a waste. It's preparation. Ai por tudo, se não te usar. Vai partir. Sometimes the hardest part is not starting. It's continuing. It's waking up again and choosing to move when everything feels the same, when the effort doesn't seem to produce results, when your mind starts questioning if anything is actually changing. And that's where many people stop. Not because they're incapable, but because they're tired. tired of trying, tired of waiting, tired of not seeing results. But what most people don't realize is that progress is not always visible. Some of the most important changes in your life happen in places no one can see. Inside your mind, inside your strength, inside your ability to keep going. You are changing, even if it doesn't feel like it. You are growing, even if it's not obvious. You are becoming stronger, even if you still feel tired. And that's the part people miss. They expect growth to feel powerful all the time. But sometimes, growth feels like persistence. Like showing up when you don't feel like it. Like continuing when you don't feel motivated. Like trusting when you don't have clear answers. And that kind of growth is real. That kind of growth lasts. Because it's not based on emotion. It's based on decision. And every time you decide to keep going, you are building something inside you. Something that will support your future. Something that will hold you when things get bigger, when responsibilities increase, when opportunities come. Because it's not just about receiving something. It's about being ready for it. And readiness takes time. It takes process. It takes moments like this, where you feel stretched, challenged, even uncertain. But those moments are not empty. They are building you. So don't stop here. You've already come too far. And if this message is speaking to you right now, don't keep it to yourself. Share this with someone who needs strength today. Because there are people out there feeling exactly like you. And this might be the message they need to hear. Keep going. Even if it's slow. Even if it's hard. Even if it doesn't feel like progress. Because it is. And it's leading somewhere. Right now, pause for a moment and breathe. Not quickly. Not distracted. But intentionally. Because this moment matters. You are here. You are still standing. You are still breathing. You are still moving forward. And that means your story is not over. There were moments you didn't think you would make it this far. Moments that felt too heavy, too confusing, too overwhelming. But you made it through. And that is not random. That is grace. That is mercy. That is God sustaining you, even when you didn't realize it. And that means something important. You are not alone. You were never alone. Even in silence, even in uncertainty, even when nothing seemed to move, God was working, preparing you, strengthening you, positioning you. And one day you're going to look back and understand. This season wasn't empty. It wasn't wasted. It was necessary. It was building you into someone stronger, someone ready, someone who can handle what's coming next. So don't stop now. You are closer than you think. Closer to clarity. Closer to breakthrough. Closer to a shift. Not because everything changes overnight, but because everything you've been building is starting to come together. So take the next step, even if it's small, even if it feels slow, even if it doesn't look impressive, because that step matters. And if this message reached your heart today, subscribe to the channel right now. There are more messages like this waiting for you. And comment, I will keep going. Because this is not the end of your story. This is your new beginning. Now breathe and move forward, one step at a time, because your story is still being written, and the next chapter is closer than you think.